Okay, it's Tomb Kings versus High Elves again. Playing another 2,000 point game, slightly tweaked list, hopefully better. Unfortunately, we forgot to film deployment, so this is after both of our turn ones.
No, just yours.
Just mine. Oh yeah, just mine. Sorry, it's quite an eventful one. Right, so basically everything's just moved up a bit. These guys are moving into the building. The Hierophants moved out of the unit, just hiding behind there. These guys have pretty much stayed where they are. We've got 4 chariots with a standard, a Screaming Skull catapult, War Sphinx with a Fiery Roar upgrade, 20 Tomb Guard with a Tomb Prince. He's got a great weapon, and the 20 archers with a standard, another Screaming Skull catapult, Casket of Souls, another 20 archers with a standard, and 4 Necropolis Knights with a standard. Yeah, so that's what I've got, and they moved up, and then in the magic phase I rolled 12. I've got 8, I think it's 10 normally, and then 2 from the casket. Cast some Righteous Smiting on the archers, but he scrolled it. Then I cast Desiccation. Desiccation? No, Vengeance. Vengeance on these guys, which reduced their movement by 2, which was, it wasn't too bad. They were the only thing in range, that's why I cast it on them. And then I used the other 6 in the casket, and through plenty of skill of mine, I managed to kill 5 Dragon Princes and put a wound on the BSP. So I unfortunately rolled really badly for his leadership twice.
I think I rolled a 15 the first time, and then a 16 the second. Yeah,
it was brutal. But yeah, so he's doing well. He's keeping it together, but you can see the veins throbbing his head after
I was going to say, I'm doing well simply to have saved one wound with a 4-up ward save. That's the best I've done ever with ward saves.
It shows our evolution in this game, that we're managing to keep our temper better. Because like a few months ago, that would have been table flipping offence. But yeah, he's keeping it together, and he's quite optimistic. Hopefully. Yeah, he's going to win. Okay, and then in the shooting phase, these guys shot the Reavers, killed 2 of them, sent them packing. This catapult fired at the Swordmasters. Unfortunately, he failed. He just it was this one that scattered off. This one actually hit them, killed 7 of them. They passed their break test. Chariots fired at these, and through ridiculous odds again, it's like the 3rd time they've defied average. I managed to kill 2 of these. Well, they didn't kill as many normally, but they did get a silly amount of hits. These guys just fired at the Swordmasters. I think they killed 1 or 2. And yeah, so really amazingly good turn. Can't fault it. Let's hope that carries on that way. So that's the end of Tomb Kings turn 1.
Okay, well this is High Elf turn 1. This used to be Unit 5 Reavers that got sent packing in the Tomb Kings first turn. They have, however, failed their leadership test again with a double 6. But they only managed to flee a marvellous 3 inches. So I was wondering where that roll of all 2 1s and a 2 was when I needed it. But yes, that's not good. I had another unit, a unit of 20 Loathen Sea Guards, who are moving up to the battlefield. Behind it is another unit of 20 Loathen Sea Guard with a Law of Life Mage, level 4. In the magic phase, he got a Throne of Vines. That was about it. There was 35 Swordmasters, although they've been whittled down a fair bit. They're now down to 24 now, unfortunately. And then what was my right flank, which was Dragon Princes, just sort of next to this rock here, obviously got wiped out by the Casket of Souls, but the Prince has sort of scarpered around here. He's had a change of plan, and then obviously getting Throne of Vines off healed up his wound, so he's back on full. So basically the plan is to join him up next next round with the sort of wizards unit and get him in. And then basically the vanguarded reavers have sort of moved all the way up and around in an attempt to try and get rid of this bloody Screaming Skull catapult. So yeah, not going great for the High Elves, but sort of possibly getting there. I need to start wiping some units out ASAP or I'm in trouble.
Okay, this is the end of Tomb King's turn 2. Everything's just moved up a bit more. We've kind of mugged off this catapult. The chariots have just like gone up there to help out with the main combat rather than messing around with these guys. Hopefully something will kill them. Yeah, so it's pretty much moving. The magic phase I rolled 11 dice. Unfortunately, I failed to cast my first spell, so that didn't go off. And then I threw 6 at the casket, but Simon outrolled me, so I didn't actually get to cast that either. So it was a bit of a bust, but after that last magic phase, I can live with that. So in the shooting phase, just shot at the Swordmasters was pretty much everything. One catapult misfired, the other catapult missed, and just picked off a few. The Necropolis Knights charged into the Loathing Sea God over here, and in the combat phase I managed to kill I think 10 of them, and he did a wound to me. So, but he passed his steadfast because he's had just enough guys to be steadfast. So, bit of a pain, but fair enough. So I guess he's due for some kind of luck. But yeah, that's the end of Tomb King's turn 2. So it's going pretty well so far. Let's see how size turn 2 goes.
Okay, High Elf turn 2. Finally, the Reavers managed to rally, and they've worked their way up. Although they are perilously close to some jammy old fucking skeleton archers, so they might not survive. But over here, the Swordmasters charged into the combat with the Necropolis Knights. I also managed to buff the Swordmasters pretty nicely with Shield of Thorns and +4 toughness. So yeah, basically the Swordmasters went and slaughtered their way through the Necropolis Knights. Although I did lose three dudes to the end of it because he just managed to pass enough saves to leave him with one guy left. So yeah, they've reformed, ready for possible rapage next turn. These guys didn't really do much, although the BSB has now linked in with the unit, as he decided that it's slightly safer than being out on his own, especially with some pretty deadly shooting. So things are still not amazing for the High Elves, but at least I've taken out one of his units, so I have some victory points. So it's not an utter whitewash, but yeah, it's still going to be tough. So yeah, it's the end of the turn, and on to Tomb King's turn 3.
Okay, end of Tomb King's turn 3, and we've just kind of moved up to face the Swordmasters now. Snakes unfortunately died in the last combat, so I've got to deal with them with what's left. Had a pretty good magic phase. I managed to cast Protection on the Sphinx, so healed him up with another wound. Cast Righteous Smiting on these guys, and then managed to get the casket off as well, which went on to the Swordmasters, killed none of them, but then jumped to the Loathing Sea Guard, killed 5, then jumped to the other Loathing Sea Guard and killed another 5, which is a fucking result. So yeah, that was pretty much it. Oh, these guys shot at the Loathing Sea Guard as well. Didn't manage to kill me. These guys shot at the Loathing Sea Guard. Killed a few, I think. These guys killed the Reavers. Catapult did nothing. Oh no, yeah, it did.
Got a wound?
Got a hit on these guys. Got a wound, but he saved it with his Iron Curse icon from...
Yes.
Dirty trick. Okay, so yeah, that's the end of Tomb King's turn 3. Looking a bit iffy actually, not quite as good a position as I would have hoped, because these guys are still alive. But I guess the whole game hinges on them being alive, or dead. So, we'll see what Simon has to say in turn 3.
Okay, High Elf turn 3, end of. These guys haven't broken, but they've decided to skarker a bit because it's getting a bit freaking dangerous for the 3 dudes. These guys are pretty much remaining where they are. Just sort of relatively out of harm's way. The Swordmasters, they were forced into a bit of a Leroy Jenkins manoeuvre. However, instead of hearthing straight to home, they actually charged in and slaughtered the entire unit of archers with the Hierophant included. So I've kind of got rid of a fair bit of Ollie's casting power and some of his missile, and he's obviously his Hierophant. So crumble tests are inevitable. But I've still got them. That's some scary shit right there. So yeah, it's all to play for now. Things are a little bit, things are swinging a little bit in my favour. It's still looking pretty nasty, but things are coming about. So I should be. Oh yes, and up here I managed to finally gank his bloody catapult. So yeah, I'll be hopefully winging my way towards the other one because I bloody need to. So yeah, it's all to play for. So it's onwards to Tomb King's turn 4.